Hello, everyone. My name is Steven Russell, and I'd like to welcome you to the Pain Recovery with a Twist. Today, I'm here talking with certified health coach Celia Naples and Bowen LED Life practitioner Brenda Briscoe. We'll be talking about how to rid yourself of knee pain once and for all. So tonight, we've got a couple things going on, not only some good information, but we have special treats for you. We're going to be giving away 3 complimentary consultations, one from each of the pain recovery team members, Brenda, Celia Life Coach, Jenny, Celia Life Coach, Jenny Bear, who could be with us tonight. Be sure and stay until the end because we're offering gifts you can't find anywhere else. We might as well just restart it real quick.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Beaven Russell. I'd like to welcome you to Pain Recovery with a Twist. Today, I'm talking with certified health coach Celia Naples and Bowen LED Light practitioner Brenda Briscoe. We're going to be talking to how to rid yourself of knee pain for once and all. So tonight, we have a couple of special treats for you tonight. We're going to be giving away 3 complimentary consultations, one from each of the pain recovery team members, Brenda, Celia, and life coach Jenny Bear, who can be with us tonight. But be sure to stay to the end because we're offering you a gift you can't find anywhere else. So what I'd like to do, starting off here, is I'm sure a lot of you are wondering who we are, what we're doing, and what's brought us to this point. So I'll start with an introduction of myself. Once again, my name is Beaven Russell, and I like to consider myself as, I guess, the light guy. I have a background with dealing with different technologies, and how I came to do this was actually through an aunt. She was she was a severe health case. That's what all the doctors like to say, and she was kind of written off and given her 6 months to gather herself and things and belongings and figure out, what was going to happen in the next 6 months, but it wasn't going to be good. So she sought out an alternative method, and that brought her through a couple different alternative modalities, which we found some promising hopes through. Um, fast forward to the future, she's still alive today, and that brought me and my family's interest into the alternative world because we really saw the powers in some of these alternative modalities. And me being a business person myself, an entrepreneur, I saw the technology as a great aspect to get involved with, not only for my own personal health, but as a profession as well. So I found different modalities and really got involved with them. Light therapy kind of stuck with me just because the power behind it, when I see it make changes and giving quality of life back to people. So that's what really brought me to where I am today, distributing different medical products, specifically light therapy, into different clinics and doing installs all around the country. So next I want to introduce Brenda.
Hi. I started my healing career because of my stepdaughter Azure, who has scoliosis, and her pain had gotten almost unbearable. So she tried so many things that didn't work. And when somebody told me about Bowen therapy, I researched it, and I saw that there was only one therapist in the entire DFW Metroplex who practiced it. And so I called her, and she assured me that she had had many cases of scoliosis, some with actual spinal corrections and some with simply resolution of the pain. And she encouraged me to take an upcoming course in it and work on my daughter when I was with her. Well, I took her advice, and Azure responded immediately with better posture and less pain even. After that, Azure sent me her friends, and it grew from there, giving me now over 17 years experience with the Bowen technique. I've added lots of other coursework over the years as I've had to keep my license active, and I try them in my practice, but just keep coming back to Bowen therapy because nothing seems to be as profoundly effective and as long-lasting as Bowen work. So how about you, Celia?
Well, I too had a life experience. I had my own personal life experience, and so that's why I believe in what I'm doing. I had started having joint pain in my early 40s and was told by my rheumatologist that the only option was to take pain relieving and anti inflammatory drugs. And for me, that just wasn't a viable plan. So I started researching what other choices there might be. I discovered that foods can cause inflammation and it can also help alleviate inflammation. And that led me to changing my diet. And then through further research, I found the right supplements and I started walking daily. It didn't happen overnight, but after a few months, the joint swelling was gone and I had full range of motion without ever having to take any pharmaceuticals. I've always leaned toward alternative medicine and therapies. eventually the experience I had in healing myself led to a midlife career change, and I got certified to be a health coach. Along with my training, I have almost 20 years of experience in using food, supplements, and body care to handle my pain. And that's what I hope to help others do successfully now in our pain recovery clinic.
Thanks, Celia, and thanks, Brenda. And that's just a little background on us. It's always neat to see how people enter this world, and I always see that consistently with alternative health, as people were just kind of not okay with the answers that they were receiving, whether it be from pharmaceuticals or that be modern medicine. They really want a more non-invasive, non-intrusive, and also a healthy way to pick up their lifestyle and pick up the quality of their life. And I think that's what we have here is a couple of people that have found some great alternatives, and we're going to talk about how those alternatives apply to these different things that we're going to be talking about tonight. So first, what I want to talk about tonight is inflammation, reducing inflammation and alleviate the pain. It's a very popular word, inflammation, ridding yourself. Well, what is it? How do we do it? We're just going to be covering a little bit of that. The next is we're going to be talking about rebuilding bone and cartilage for better function. Popular belief, a lot of people are told once you're done with cartilage, you're kind of done, and we're going to review that in that statement. Restoring synovial fluid for ease of movement. That's the last. Many may have not heard of this. I know this was a new one for me when I started dealing with knee pain specifically. So if not, this is definitely something that you're going to be educated on tonight. So let's get right to the first thing, is reducing inflammation and to alleviate pain. That's our first and foremost thing we really want to try to address and take care of. So Brenda, why don't you go ahead and lighten us with how inflammation works with the body.
Okay, sure. Well, inflammation is good for your body's protection, but it doesn't have an off switch. When inflammation is allowed to continue, it creates its own set of problems. For instance, swelling, which causes pressure on the nerves and also limits movement. Has this ever happened to any of you? So healing starts with reducing inflammation, relieving pressure on joints and nerves so pain can be reduced and movement improved. Because without movement, joints lock up, creating more stiffness and pain and immobility. And then this negatively impacts your quality of life, right?
Right. If you think of inflammation like the flame on a stovetop, you need to heat it, you need it to heat the pan, which cooks your food. But if you don't turn the flame off, then the pan can burn and even catch your kitchen on fire. And like a fire can spread quickly in a building, inflammation can spread throughout the body. There are several solutions for reducing inflammation and getting you on your road to a pain-free life. And the first one is upgrading your diet to include anti-inflammatory foods and taking pharmaceutical grade supplements that are backed by research. That is a very important place to start. And as Brenda said, inflammation starts out as a good thing, part of the body's natural healing response, but it can't always shut itself off. Another way inflammation grows in the body is through the things we eat and drink. I want you guys to guess what the biggest culprit is in causing inflammation.
Sugar?
Well, Brenda,
sugar as
that's a
well.
good guess, but it's omega-6. A lot of people think it's sugar, and sugar certainly does contribute to it, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. But the biggest culprit in inflammation in our bodies is the essential fatty acid omega-6. Most people have heard of omega-3, which is also an essential fatty acid. And one of the great things it does for the body is reduce inflammation. But its naughty cousin, omega-6 fatty acid, builds up in our cell membranes and it contributes to inflammation. So it's found in most seed oils and vegetable oils, including soybean oil, canola oil, safflower oil, cottonseed oil, and many more. It's also found in all margarines and fake butters. And you also have to think about the foods that contain these oils, like fast food and burgers and good stuff like that we love to eat. But it's really putting that omega-6 into our bodies. And also bottled foods like salad dressing that are considered healthy, like mayonnaise and cookies and things like that. Omega-6 oils are found in those things. And here's the thing. A lot of times we look at something like a bottled salad dressing that is labeled organic. And you look at the label and it says organic soybean oil. So great, it's organic, but it's still omega-6, and that's the problem. The sugar is the other culprit in the battle against inflammation. Too much sugar releases too much insulin, which causes stress, which brings cortisol into the body, which cascades into, you guessed it, inflammation. An anti-inflammatory diet is the first line of defense against inflammation. Foods like fresh vegetables and fruits, extra virgin olive oil, and fatty fish like salmon that helps you get omega-3 into your body. Of course, many people get their omega-3 from supplements. It's important to be using pharmaceutical grade supplements because they're backed by research for effectiveness. Supplements aren't registered, as recent research has shown. We can't know what's actually in them unless they're coming from a reputable third-party certified company. And we at Living Well only use third-party certified companies. Food and supplements are the foundation of the fight against inflammation and an integral part that is necessary to provide nutrients for healing. And Brenda's going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute. First, I want to tell you a little bit about cortisol and chronic stress because they also play a role here. And since Jenny couldn't be with us tonight, I'm going to talk a little bit about what she does. When we have chronic stress, our body is constantly producing cortisol because that's how the body is wired. Chronic stress is like constant, low-level fight or flight. So that makes addressing chronic stress high on the priority list for controlling inflammation. And I'm wondering, for the folks that are listening, if that's something that they are open to doing.
So yeah, just tailing on to that, that's one of the things life coach Jenny Bear does. She utilizes both coaching and adding essential oils to help prevent and relieve stress and enhance the healing effect. So as you know, many people in chronic pain suffer from anxiety and depression, and they can't sleep at night to let their bodies heal. That's going to add an added effect to anyone that's in a chronic pain state. It's going to just keep refeeding this cycle of nastiness. It's a mental pain-brain effect. So Brenda, do you want to add on to that?
Yeah, that's right, Bevan. And Jenny can help resolve all of those issues that y'all are talking about. And I want to add a little clarification about how LED lights help with inflammation. LED stands for light emitting diodes. Number one, they stimulate the release of nitric oxide into the bloodstream. So this dilates the blood vessels, allowing more oxygen and healing nutrients to arrive into the areas that are inflamed, like the knees, for instance. In addition, they also increase the production of adenosine triphosphate, or ATP, clearing out toxins and debris and moving the healthy nutrients in quicker.
Well, that makes sense. So, if we can reduce inflammation, and this is kind of where I was brought into with knees, is reducing inflammation is fantastic. But let's talk about the long-term effects, where we get into our data point number 2, and the second topic of the night is rebuilding bone and cartilage for better function. Well, that all makes sense, but as we've all been told at one point, once you get to bone cartilage degenerating or gone, the answer is to slice that thing open and let's get in there and get you some knee replacements. But I think as we've all come to find, and Brenda, I want you to elaborate on this, that may not be the answer, is it?
Well, no. Often people don't realize that they can actually rebuild their cartilage and bone. You may have been led to believe that it can't be done at all. A lot of people with knee pain are athletes with either an acute injury or a chronic condition of years of wear and tear on their knees. Many times, people in this chronic state are told they must have knee replacement surgery. In fact, I know a personal trainer who was looking at surgery himself because the doctor said he had to have surgery. It was bone on bone. And instead, he decided to use the LED lights for a few months to try to avoid that surgery. He actually did build back the cartilage that was almost gone, and he strengthened his bones. So now he even does squats again using heavy weights. Needless to say, he did not have to get the surgery done. Now, with arthritis, early on there is a decrease in substances that make healthy cartilage, and the cartilage tends to lose its sponginess, and it can't withstand the regular pressure of a normal joint. Later on, certain enzymes break down that cartilage even more, and it can become calcified like bone. Then you also have the bone plate thickening. and bone cysts forming, while the calcified cartilage plate is getting larger and the articular cartilage is shrinking. So how many nutrients do you think can be delivered through all this thickening bone and calcified cartilage? Not many. So as you can see, it's extremely important to support the blood supply with the right supplements and nutrition, as Celia was mentioning, and as well as with the light therapy. Then Bowen therapy or any kind of body work can release the tension in the muscles and tendons that are placing improper pull on those bones, breaking them down further. So even arthritic knees can be changed where bones get strengthened and cartilage gets rebuilt. Now, is there a point at which it's too late? Sure, especially if the person is of age and they are just not going to change their diet. But even then, they can be given a better quality of life with less pain and inflammation.
You know, your body has amazing healing capabilities if you give it the right tools like good nutrition, hands-on and light therapy, and eliminating stress and pain brain thinking. If you don't realize that you have the ability to heal through alternative means, you may think surgery is the only option, or you can get stuck in the never-ending medication cycle that only masks the problem when you could be reversing it. I got an email recently about knee pain from a well-known medical website, so I checked it out. They had two slideshows. One was showing knee exercises, which is very important when you're needing to help alleviate pain. But the other slideshow was about knee replacement surgery, as though that's the only alternative to knee pain. It's unfortunate that invasive procedures like surgery seem to be the standard answer for knee pain from our healthcare system. The worst part is that surgery may not bring an end to the pain. And then there's the medication cycle. I personally am saddened and I'm really frightened by the extent of opioid use in this country. It's become epidemic and it doesn't do anything to solve the pain, it only masks it. And then there's the very real possibility of getting addicted.
Or even getting an infection in the hospital. A very close friend of mine in her 30s had knee replacement surgery, and she ended up with an extreme infection at the incision site, which then spread throughout the rest of her body, and she almost died. Celia, what's important to know is that it's never too late to seek care. Whatever stage you're in, it's important to start as soon as you can. At our pain recovery clinic at Living Well Dallas, we meet you where you are and help you. If you've just injured your knee in a soccer game or just taken a bad fall and landed on your knee, you won't need as many sessions as the person who has had arthritis for quite some time. That condition takes its time in building up and therefore is going to take quite a bit more time to heal. But in both cases, LED light therapy as well as Bowen therapy are ideal for turning each condition around. Bowen therapy turns the fight or flight mechanism of the nervous system off and downregulates it to a rest and relaxation response where healing can take place. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. And, just to reiterate as well as going to the hospital and getting knee replacements, it's mind-blowing how many people actually do have knee replacements. And I'm sure that some people are going to have that question. I just want to address it before it becomes a question, is I see a lot of people that have had knee replacements, whether it be just one, and now because one's alleviated, now there's twice as much pressure on the next knee. I really see it as almost a domino effect with many people out there. It's like, hey, I got my knee done. It was really bothering me. And then 1, 2, 3 years, it's like the next one. It's collapsing now because I had to pick up the slack for the other one. So they get the other one done 5, 10 years down the road from that. Both of them are done, and all of a sudden here comes this pain back. And then they really don't have an answer other than, like you guys said, opioid use, painkillers. And that route just, it's a scary one to think of. So bringing us to our next and last point is restoring synovial fluid for ease of movement. This is something that was actually new to me when we put this together for everyone out there. And I'm going to let Brenda go ahead and just bring us right up to speed as far as educating us what synovial fluid can do for us.
Okay, synovial fluid has an egg white-like consistency. It's clear and slightly sticky or stringy. Its main role is to lubricate joints. It reduces friction within the joint parts during movement, just like a metal joint needs grease to move. Rebuilding cartilage and bone don't do us much good if we don't have healthy synovial fluid to lubricate them. They are two sides to one coin. But when pieces of damaged cartilage or bone are floating around in this fluid, and then they attach to the synovial membrane, they're seen as foreign invaders, and this sets off an inflammatory response. Then the fluid gets cloudy, less stringy, and in excess, causing swelling to occur.
You know, whether your pain is from an infection, an injury, or arthritis, doing something about it as soon as possible is vitally important. One thing that keeps people stuck in a cycle of pain is what our life coach Jenny Bear calls pain brain. Think about the things you miss doing. How does your pain affect the quality of your life? Having pain brain means your pain runs your life. Are you ready to take control of your life and get back to the activities that you love?
I'm sure a lot of people are, and I think it's important to note that I think what we're offering here is a little bit more than just what medication or even physical therapy offers. It's really an all-in-one quality change of life, and we're really looking for improvements, whether it's to quit using that walker, replace or regenerate. We're looking for all sides of your health to really bring you to a better point in life. And so we talked about why it's important to reduce inflammation, gave you some ideas about how to do that with things like anti-inflammatory diet and building a foundation with high-quality supplements. We let you know that it's possible to rebuild bone and cartilage, which is essential for better function, and it goes hand in hand with restoring synovial fluid for ease of movement. So I just want to bring something to light here, no pun intended. It's our brain tap. And I'm sure that not many of you have heard of it because it's actually a newer thing out on the market, but the combined therapies have been around for a long time now. So the brain tap, what I want to first point out is that you'll see lights if you're tuned in and viewing the slides. If not, there's actually LEDs built into the earpiece of this headset. So as you're listening to the audio and viewing the lights through the visor, you're actually getting lights in the ears. Now, why are they placed there? Well, they're actually to activate beneficial acupoints. So based on the therapy or the condition that you have, and you can select that through 792 different protocols that are accessible on your phone or tablet that you use to turn on the device, they are actually going to run at a separate frequency, activating those beneficial acupoints based on the different therapy or session you're receiving. Then, not to mention, it's also customized audio file. So the audio that you're receiving through the actual ear portion of the headset is to actually give binaural beats, solfeggio musical notes, and really to de-stress the body. It's doing that through these frequency-driven audio files that are meant to de-stress the body. So it's also going to be doing a little bit of intention training. There's different audio files, everything from autism in children care, Asperger's, to child therapy sessions, such as whether it's abuse, addiction. It goes all the way from some very therapeutical type sessions to pain, dementia, Alzheimer's, chronic pain, chemical balancing of the brain. So the biggest portion that I really like, and a lot of people don't understand, I'm going to try and keep it nice and simple, is the visor portion. Now, we've seen in recent reports that blue light reduces seasonal affective disorder, and that may be what a lot of you are thinking its main purpose is. Well, that's a great benefit, and it works wonders on depression, especially seasonal affective disorder, but it's not limited to that. The frequency of the light is actually flashing and is driven to the retina, and that's actually picked up by the back of the brain. It then works with the glands of the brain, the hypothalamus, the pituitary, the pineal, as well as the hippocampus, stimulating the pituitary for dopamine. So that can even help with Parkinson's. Of course, you know that they have a severe dopamine issue, and that's why they take drugs to help regulate that. That's something that can help that person with symptoms. Not to mention, dopamine is also great for depression, sleep issues, but as well as we're stimulating melatonin, that's another great sleep issue. We're also stimulating serotonin, which is going to give you energy and also help with that feel-good effect. So we're chemically balancing as well as delta, beta, and balancing brain waves. And then we're also getting a little bit of acupuncture as well as the binaural beats to really put the body in a healing state. So these little goofy looking glasses, I get a lot of comments. Everyone says, well, that's kind of goofy looking. Well, it's neat, is what it really is because it's such a complex system, and it's actually got systems in it. It's got multiple modalities, multiple therapies, all put into this really neat little headset that just looks like headphones. Your 80s large headphones with a visor across can deliver this really, really heavy dose of powerful alternative healing modalities to you all in one with the ease of your cell phone in this simple little thing that you could easily utilize on an airplane. So that kind of wraps up what we're doing here at Living Well and what we're going to be utilizing for the knee and how we're going to really address knee pain and how we're addressing with multiple modalities. So everyone that's here tonight is invited to make an appointment and try our newest device, the Brain. You can call 972-930-0260. Once again, that's for those of you that don't have the slide, I'm going to say it one more time, 972-930-0260. And mention that you're on this webinar to make your complimentary brain tap experience appointment. Again, call 972-930-0260. And I think that about wraps it up for the night. I want to thank you all for spending your time with me, Celia, and Brenda, and we hope to hear from you soon.
Good night, everybody. Have happy knees.
Good night.